good was a mere pet, but this was no ordinary cat. The cat spoke. He bowed to his new master and asked for a pair of boots and a sack, promising that with these simple tools he could win them a great fortune. Curious and desperate, the miller's son agreed. Boots laced and sack in paw, Puss set out. He went into the forest and caught rabbits and partridges, then presented them to the king as gifts from a mysterious noble, the Marquis of Carabas. Day after day Puss brought more gifts, charming the king and building the illusion that his master was generous, refined and wealthy. Then one summer day, knowing the king and princess would be riding in their carriage by the riverside, Puss instructed the miller's son to bathe in the water. Right on cue, Puss ran in front of the royal coach, crying that the Marquis of Carabas had been robbed of his fine clothes and left to drown. The king, recognising the name, halted the carriage at once. He rescued the young man, and believing him to be a noble, offered him fine clothes and a seat beside the princess, who was immediately enamoured with him, for she found him exceedingly handsome. As they travelled, Puss raced ahead. He asked the field workers who owned the lands they were tending, and they answered truthfully, "A fearsome sorcerer." Puss told them to say the lands belonged to the Marquis of Carabas instead, or else the sorcerer would have them killed. So at every turn, when the king admired the wheat fields, the pastures, the herds, the workers dutifully proclaimed that everything they tended belonged to the young man. The king was astonished by the extent of his guests' estates. Finally, Puss reached the sorcerer's grand castle. The fearless cat marched inside and said, "I hear you can become a fearsome lion, though surely that's only a legend." The sorcerer, flattered and vain, exclaimed that of course he could, and transformed into a great lion on the spot. Puss applauded politely, then added, "Impressive, but could such a mighty sorcerer turn into something tiny, like a mouse?" The sorcerer's pride was hooked. In an instant he shrank into a little mouse, and with that Puss pounced and devoured him, ending his reign. When the king's carriage arrived, Puss greeted them at the gates as the devoted servant of the Marquis of Carabas, the lord of this magnificent castle. The king, thoroughly convinced, was delighted. He promptly offered the Marquis his daughter's hand in marriage. And so the miller's son married the princess, inherited the sorcerer's vast riches, and became a prince, all thanks to the ingenious Puss in Boots. The cat, now a great lord among cats, lived in comfort, never chasing mice again except for his own amusement.